Good morning and welcome to Hope, Faith, and Joy Daily Devotion with me, Pastor Amanda. We are looking at chapter 5 of Esther this morning. And so, just as a reminder, yesterday we left her and Mordecai off to be fasting for 3 days. And so now we've returned to Queen Esther on day 3, and we find that she has now put on her royal robes and is standing in the inner court of the king's palace. So she has set herself up to be noticed by the king. And remember, like, this could potentially be a death sentence for her. But what we do see is that in contrast to Queen Vashti, like, she puts on all of her royal regalia, whereas Vashti was unwilling to do that. And so she kind of knows that this pleases the king already. So we find that he sees her and points his scepter out at her and invites her in. And of course, he knows that she has definitely risked her life to be there. And so he says, what can I do for you? I'll give you half my kingdom. Now, as is the proper courtesy in this area, you don't make your request right off the bat. You take your time, and it's a process, so to be, or a strategy, depending on how you look at it. And so, what Queen Esther does is she goes, "I want to invite you and Haman, her enemy, to a banquet." And so, of course, he says, "Yes, yes, I'll be happy." Because, see, she's serving him. In her request, she's serving him. So he's very much getting there. And then, of course, she has Haman close by so that he kind of gets wrapped up into the strategy she has put together. So then we find out that they get to the wine course. So he's feeling pretty good. And he says again, "What can I give you? I'll give you up to half my kingdom." And she's calm, she's cool, she's collected. And she goes, "I'd like you to come tomorrow to another banquet and bring Haman too." So we're just now building up into what's going on. So he says yes, absolutely. He's very excited about this, being treated so well. And so Haman is on his way home. And as he goes home, he walks past Mordecai at the gate. And, Mordecai just sits there and doesn't get up for him, doesn't bow to him. And Haman's like, he's so mad. He's so mad. Like, this guy just won't respect me the way I think I deserve to be respected. But he doesn't do anything about it at the moment. Actually, what he does is he goes home to his family and to his wife. So we get introduced to a new character, and her name is Zeresh. Zeresh. And so the first thing he does is he starts bragging and boasting about everything that happened to him, about how Queen Esther just thinks he's a rock star and how he's treated so well. And she's even invited him back for tomorrow. He's like, "Oh, it's so great." And then he goes, "But this guy, Mordecai, is just making my life miserable." He's just whining. And so here we go. Now we have Zeresh, who's kind of another independent thinking woman, all of a sudden just goes, "Dude, why don't you just build a gallows and, like, kill him? Like, wouldn't that just be the easy way?" So again, we do see an independent woman coming up trying to fix the problem of a man. But we also see, in kind of contrast to Ruth, um, she just over. It's like, why hasn't somebody gone up and had a conversation with Mordecai? Why hasn't someone engaged him and talked to him? But instead, it's this brash idea that just kill him. Let's just get rid of him. There's this kind of dramatic response to something that's not really harmful. And then we have Ruth, who is taking her time. She's trying to fill out the situation. She's listening to the wisdom in the courts. She's really, she's engaging them in banquets. So they're having conversations, they're talking, she's building rapport with them to get where she's going. And so we have that contrast going on within this. And really, that's where this chapter leads off, is that Zeresh says, let a gallows 50 cubits high be made, and in the morning tell the king to have Mordecai hanged on it, then go with the king to the banquet in good spirits. See, it's easy as that. And so the last thing is this advice pleased Haman, and he had the gallows made. So we also see some presumption here, is that Haman goes ahead and has a gallows built prior to even asking permission from the king. So he's gotten himself to a place now where he feels he can start. He's like, he just knows he's going to get the yes. He just is absolutely sure. So he's going ahead with his plans before he's actually gotten permission. And I think that's something to be said for many of us. How often do we kind of get ahead of ourselves because we haven't thought through everything else, or we're just so sure it's going to be good or great, and we haven't thought about all the other things that have to happen along the way. And so we get ahead of ourselves. And for Haman, it's going to not end up so cool. And so, but I think sometimes we can see that happening when we, get too many feet ahead of ourselves at once. And so yeah, so we've kind of set in the scene for the next bit of excitement. And so thanks for joining me for this morning's little tidbit of Esther, of Hope, Faith, and Joy Daily Devotion. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning as we continue on. So have a great day. Thanks. Bye.